I think it's worse now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, like, everything that you've experienced in your career, what advice would you give to, like, young Gina, 18-year-old Gina?
I would tell her that boys are a waste of time. I always say this because it's true. It is true.
How are boys getting fire?
Boys are getting shots. Do you know why? No, boys are getting shots. I would tell younger Gina that don't waste your time on boys. Child, don't waste your time.
I thought you was going to come with something a lot more inspirational.
No, yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay, all right, my bad.
And like everything happens for a reason. Like literally, and everything works out in the end.
Okay.
I say that because
go on.
18-year-old Gina was down bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when it came to relationships and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying that, because she thought her life was over at one point.
What was her aspirations?
Do you know what's so funny? She didn't have any. So I would call myself a floater.
Okay.
I spoke about this yesterday actually, and I was like, if you look at my career and how my life has gone, there's been no sense of direction.
Oh, really?
I've floated my way through life. So you haven't
planned anything? There's been no like strategic planning of what you're going to do?
More so now.
Yeah.
But no. So
what's changed that you're doing it now?
Because, okay, so I say that because like, you know, like when you're, okay, so I always say the hardest part of life for me was after university. So like when you're young, you go to primary school, secondary school, college, sixth form,
kind
uni.
of all mapped out for you.
Everything's mapped out for you. So I had structure. I left uni and then everyone was looking at me and asking me to make decisions. And I just thought, excuse me?
What did you study?
Criminology and social policy.
Okay, so not fitness,
no.
Sports science.
No, but I've never been into fitness or sports science, even as a child. That's what I'm saying. So I was that person who used to forge my mum's signatures to say I can't do PE. I wasn't athletic. I hated PE, I hated sports.
Why?
Because I like to eat. Food was my thing.
Yeah, so you train?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't that child. I was that chubby, overweight. So I wasn't comfortable or confident in my own skin. Okay. So like anything to do with fitness and... No.
So then how did you get into fitness?
A guy. See what I'm saying? It all ties back.
Okay. So we caught fire at the beginning. Then the second...
You see?
Elevated and inspired.
So I got into fitness because I came out of a bad relationship.
Okay.
And basically used fitness as therapy to kind of get back on my feet. Yeah.
Okay. So what was your, like, did you have any prior knowledge to exercise?
Not really, no. And luckily for me, I had people around me who were heavily into it. So like one of my close friends, at the time was a personal trainer. Okay. And he also was a runner and a sprinter. So he was very much into health and fitness. I kind of latched onto him. Okay. And he taught me everything I knew, to be honest with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he works in the gym literally across the road from my house. Nice. So I would like just go there and hang out. Because the work environment that he worked in, they were so relaxed, so cool. So he was allowed his friends to come round and do you know what I mean? So I'd literally just sit there when he's on shift and he'd be like, why don't you actually just work out? And I'd be like, no. And he'd be like, but you've got nothing to lose, just try it. So sometimes when he was training on his lunch break, I'd go and just kind of like get my toes wet a bit. And then I thought, oh, this isn't that bad.
So when was that pivotal moment where he's like, oh yeah, this actually bangs? Like,
do you know what? I think I just started to I became really obsessive. So I've got quite an addictive personality. Okay. So if I'm good at something or if I like something, I become very engrossed in it. Okay. So I started, when I can start going gym without you, then that's when it's like, oh, okay. Because prior to that, like I tried to lose weight before. In university, I dabbled in the gym, but like, again, the confidence wasn't there. So I had to always go with my friends. I couldn't ever go by myself, or I only did classes. Like I couldn't go into a gym and navigate the space. But then when I started to not need him and be able to go and put my own plans together and do you know what I mean? Then I thought, oh. Yeah.
So I know you said you went there for like, because it was kind of like your own therapy. But like, was it like an aesthetic goal that you was going for, or was it just purely for your mental?
It was my mental, because I started off running outside.
Okay.
And you could never catch me running now, but I literally used to run, and that's how I started. So it was just running outside. So it was definitely not for aesthetics. It was more, I found it therapeutic, because whenever I used to run, I just used to kind of clear my mind, or like talk to myself, or just be outside, and do you know what I mean? And not be in my thoughts so much, or even if I was in my thoughts, because I was in an outside environment, it didn't feel claustrophobic.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Okay.
So it definitely was more mental than anything else, because in terms of me getting addicted, it was like, okay, cool. I noticed how it used to make me feel. So then if I was having like an off day or an off moment, I knew, okay, to fix it, I needed to go gym and stuff.
Okay.
So it always was mainly mental, and obviously aesthetics play a part, but I know that I was led more by how I felt as opposed to kind of what I looked like. Okay,
so you're working out, you're seeing the benefits, feeling the benefits. When did you start to think of it as a career?
So Instagram, when I joined Instagram, it was like back in the day, when there was like 5 filters and it was very basic Instagram.
And it was I was late.
Well, was Instagram. You? No, I joined. I'm even too embarrassed to say, so I'm not going to say the year because it's
you was one of the first.
It's been over a decade. Like, how have I been on a platform? How have I been on a platform for over a decade?
You've been on Facebook longer, surely.
Yeah, but because Facebook's played out now, and it's just, and when Facebook had a season.
Yeah.
So I feel like because it had a season, we can talk about it now, and we're probably still on it and just don't use it because it's just there.
It's true.
But I feel like I've been on that platform, and since I've been on that platform, I have used it the way I'm using it now. And it's been a decade. That is embarrassing.
Why is it embarrassing?
I don't know. I just think, I don't know. But I joined a very long time ago, and it was like a Tumblr. So like it was just pictures. You didn't really have a lot of characters for captions and that kind of stuff. So, and I wasn't a picture person. Like I didn't take selfies and stuff. So I just used to put up gym pictures.
Okay.
Like literally just put up gym content. Then the app developed and it became like a video app, and you could put like 15-second videos on there.
God,
so I would fit like 3-second clips of my whole workout in one, and then it was from there. Like I just started putting out a lot of the content that I was with my workouts and the food I was eating and stuff. And then I guess a lot of people would just be like, "Oh, are you a trainer? You're a trainer?" And I was like, no.
So you wasn't even a trainer at that point?
I was just the girl who liked the gym. And I had a blog. And I just used to blog it. It was called Just Geen's Journey. And it was all about my journey. And I just used to just talk about gym stuff and things that I found and what helped me and the things I struggled with.
And then people just connected
and
with
then
you.
people connected. And I think also, if I'm honest, at that time there wasn't a lot of black women in the industry. So I believe a lot of people could relate to me because all the people that I followed or who I kind of resonated with were American.
Okay.
Because obviously over there, fitness is huge over there and has been. It's not a new kind of trend. So I guess I became that person over here for like the black women over here. So through that, I started questioning whether I could do it as a career. And then I just thought, but remember I'm a floater, right? So I'm like, I floated through life. So I'm like, you've not always had interest in this. Are you actually going through a phase? Like, is it worth doing the qualification and going the full distance if this isn't something you really
So how much time had lapsed from like when you first dipped your toe into the gym to now doing your blog and then thinking about it as a career?
Okay, so I think I started the gym, I think so when I started blogging, it was a year into like me training and doing that kind of stuff. And then a year, so I qualified in 2014 and I started my blog in 2013 and then I joined the gym like in 2012, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So so then 2013 is me building the brand and whatnot. And then 2014 when I was like, okay, cool, let me do the course then. So I did the course.
So you built the brand first before you done the course?
Yeah, so I wasn't training anyone, and anyone I was training was more like my friends. So it wasn't on an official basis. It was more like, come gym with me, let's train together. And I found gym really social. Like I made so many friends, like from training and working out and stuff.
Was there any kind of intimidation for you? Like, because I know there's this like misconception, especially for a lot of females, that like when it comes to strength training, using weights, some feel intimidated. Did you ever feel that at all?
Yeah, but I'm a tomboy. And I'm very much quite boisterous. So like in the sense where, and most of my friends are males. So anyone I was going gym with was a male. So because of that, it made it easier to have confidence because anyone I was with in that area knew what they were doing. So I learned from men, if that makes sense. So it gave me a lot more confidence. I think that's why I yeah, I think that's why I am the way I am in terms of like how I train and how I kind of navigate through it, because I didn't start off as like wanting to do the stuff that girls do, if that makes sense. And obviously when you're training with guys, they're making you train everything.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And obviously naturally you're going to be like, no, I want to train my legs, but then they'll be like, upper body as well, thanks. Yeah.
So like starting to build your own community, what steps did you take to doing that? I think... And did you know what you was doing as well?
Erin, you think I'm joking when I say I have winged this whole... It's really funny. Do you know what? I can only say it's God's favour, God's blessing, you know, honestly, because if I sit down and I think about it, it literally, I've winged... Okay. I have winged. Yeah. Like, again, like I said, like, I'm not entrepreneurial at heart. I'm not a business...
You say.
Okay,
but me following your journey and seeing the music, yes,
and I've grown to develop those skills. But I'm saying it's not who I naturally am. So you know how some people are just naturally business minded, business savvy. That isn't me.
Okay,
or wasn't me. Now I've become accustomed to being like that because of the field that I'm in and where my business is at now. But again, everything I kind of just learned on the go. But you asked me a question before. What was it?
So I was talking about building your community.
Yeah, in terms of steps, I think I've just always tried to be really authentic.
Okay.
And relatable. And speak about my highs and my lows and own my truth, if that makes sense. Like, I think with social media, there is this perception that everyone's perfect, especially in fitness. And I never wanted that to be my brand because I knew that I was very far from perfect and I wanted people to be able to relate to me. And I just always wanted to be like the girl next door, like just an average. And to be honest, that is what my name means. So Just Geen is essentially just Gina, and it means I'm nothing more, nothing less than who I am. I'm just Gina. So that's where it came from. Do you get what I mean?
So love that.
I just always wanted to just be myself.
So was the start for you, was it Train to Slay?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Train to Slay only got birthed really, I think, was it 2018? I think it was 2018. So I didn't have a community before then, and it was just me doing all this random stuff. And then, how did it even come about? I think, do you know what? I realised that, so what I realised, especially on social media, was whenever I put out like fitness content and stuff, like people would gravitate towards it, of course. But then whenever I put out stuff outside of fitness that was more lifestyle content, in terms of like me going out dressed up, that's when all the inquiries would, oh my gosh, I want to look like you. And so I was like, you guys really love the slay, and I get it, but you have to train to get there. This is the end result, but this is what got me here. So I was like, I just need to find a way to kind of like merge the two together, which is how I birthed the brand, to be fair.
Okay.
And that's
and what was it?
It was just it's just a movement. It was just, I just wanted to have something that lived outside of me personally, if that makes sense. So obviously I'm Just Geen, but I wanted something that lived outside of Just Geen, that could live, so it could live on its own.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Moving forward. So that's what Train to Slay was. So then that's when I started doing classes, and it was under like Train to Slay classes. And then I released products. So like resistance bands, accessories.
Sounding entrepreneurial, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. I guess, but I feel like I was very late.
Got your community, and then you started doing classes, then you're sending merch, you're selling merch.
But do you know what a lot of it, do you know what it is though, right? And the reason why I say it's all winging it, because none of these things were actually planned. And I say this because, so with classes, right? The only reason why I started doing classes was because I auditioned. So one of my friends used to work at One Rebel.
Okay, yeah.
And she hit me up and was just like, oh, have you ever like looked into like doing classes? And I was like, no. Because again, that's a whole new realm. That's that's out of my comfort zone. I'm just used to one-to-ones.
Yeah.
I've never taught a class in my life. And she was just like, okay, well, we're doing auditions this weekend. And she was just like, there's no black girl in the company that teaches. Everybody here, and she's not black either, but she was like, I want to try bring more people in that represent other races. I really want you to come and audition. So I went to the audition, and it was like the most nerve-wracking thing ever, because there was so many other people auditioning. So you know when you go for job interviews, generally speaking, it's like you and one person. I walked in, there was like 20 people there, and I was just like, I was like, oh, okay.
It's like a casting call for
literally. There's like 20 people there, everyone with different backgrounds and different experiences. And a lot of them had taught classes before or like were coming from other gyms and stuff. And I thought, oh. Anyway, so I just did what I did best and winged it. But obviously you had to like, so they showed you how the style of the class works. So you had to basically replicate that and teach it to everybody else in the room. Obviously I didn't go first because I was just like, oof, I need to kind of steal some of your pointers. I did that and then I didn't get the job. And I got feedback though. And the guy was like, do you know what? I was actually very impressed. And for someone who's never taught a class before and never auditioned before, you did really, really well. The only reason why you didn't get the job is because there's obviously people there that had more experience than you. And I said, you know what, fair play. And then I thought about it, wait, hold on a minute. I don't need you. Like, I'm not even joking. It was that, I literally had a light bulb, bro. As soon as he said, you did really well, but experience, I thought, I'm always going to have this problem then, realistically, because I don't have the experience. Because everyone, and I thought, girl, bye. So I was like, no, I'm going to do it on my own. So I just looked for a space and just thought, you know what? I'm going to just do a class.
And how did you market it?
Instagram. So I just kind of put out because I used to blog, I had like a mailing list anyway.
Okay.
So I had a mailing list.
Again, sounded entrepreneurial. You knew how to build your audience.
So, just sent out to the mailing list. I was going to start classes, put it out on Instagram as well. That I was going to start classes. And remember, I'd never done classes before. And a lot of people wanted to train with me, but I just didn't have anything available for them. So started doing classes and really small intimate classes as well. No more than like 15 people, 10, 15 people was doing that regularly. And then it started to get a bit, not tiring, but like, so I was teaching in London Bridge. I live in Essex, so I'd do it on a Saturday morning, and then like the numbers kept dropping and stuff. And I just thought, oh, can I be bothered to like wake up so early in the morning and do this distance for like a really small amount of people? Then I kind of just stopped. And then, oh no, so the space I was using, they kind of had like a refurb, so they closed for like a couple months. So in that period, I just took a break. And then the gym I was PTing at, they had like space to do classes, so I started doing another class there, but again, very small, like less than 10 people on a Monday evening. And that was literally it.
And was that still for your community?
Yeah, but it was very small. Like I didn't advertise it like I only really advertised it like Snapchat, and because of where the gym was, it was mainly for like people that lived locally in the area. So people didn't come kind of like travel far and wide to come, if that makes sense. It was kind of really, really small. And then I'm even trying to think how I went from that to being confident to do what I'm doing now, because I don't know. But I just did, I was doing that. And then again, I stopped. Then we went into lockdown.
How did that affect your business?
So lockdown is where the game changed. So I feel like I have to be very mindful of what I say here, because lockdown definitely was a really tough time for the world, and a lot of bad things happened, and do you know what I mean? But on the flip side, for me and my career, it had the complete opposite effect, and it catapulted everything I was doing. And so my community grew tenfold. Because,
why do you think that was?
Because everybody was at home and everybody was on their phones and everybody needed an outlet. So then for me, having a business that was like face to face, I needed to pivot and do things online. So I started doing like online lives. So I started doing, I think I did it for like a month, where I just went live every day, Monday to Friday in the morning. No, in the afternoon. I think I used to do 12 lunchtime, because a lot of people were working from home still. So they could fit it in during their lunch hour break. So I'd do like a 45-minute like workout for 4 weeks. Then I was like, okay, and then the plan was to turn it into a subscription service, obviously. So I did it for 4 weeks.
Entrepreneurial.
You're annoyed. I did it for 4 weeks, and then I just started a subscription service, and then people signed up, and then I just kind of had it behind like a private page. How
many people did you have signing up?
I don't remember. I think at its peak, probably about like 500 people.
Wow.
Yeah, so at its peak, it was about 500 people. And then, and it was very affordable, like £15 a month.
Okay. 100 times 15.
Okay, all right.
Can your pockets.
Literally, pocket watcher. But yeah, so I did that, and that literally changed everything for me. So that's when my community grew massively.
So in terms of growth, what was it before, and then what was it like after?
I think in terms of numbers, I couldn't tell you. I don't remember. But I just know that it just made more sense. And me being a face-to-face personal trainer, even my income, I was like, I'm making so much more money now in my living room than I was when the doors were open and I could actually go outside. I'm not paying gym rent. I'm not having to spend money on like commuting to and from the gym. Do you know what I mean? So it just made so much sense, and it worked really well for me, and it definitely allowed me to build my community, build my brand a bit more, and I guess and because everyone was at home, everyone was kind of searching, so I feel like it allowed people to find me a lot easier, and because of the time it was, everybody became very health conscious, I believe, so fitness at that point in life was very like.
So how did you manage the business? Because like you said, you started making a lot more money than you was doing one-to-one. So how did you kind of manage that?
So I had like an assistant who would like help me with the admin side of things. Because admin isn't my strong point, I'll be honest. Just let me show up on the day and So she handled like all the subscriptions and stuff like that. So it worked because I wasn't having to deal with every single thing, if that makes sense. So it was just about delegating. And
was that something that was new to you, like managing?
That subscriptions and stuff. Yeah, because I hadn't done it before. So again, it wasn't my forte, and I wasn't very great at like spreadsheets and organized. Do you know what I mean? Whereas my friends, she lives and breathes that stuff, so it was so easy for her. So it just made sense to get her on board.
And was that natural for you to just get her on board, or was that like?
Yeah, because literally like. Because obviously she's my friend, so I know what her strengths and weaknesses are. Like even if it's planning a holiday, she will give you a spreadsheet about everything. So it just made sense that she take on that role.
Okay. So now coming out of lockdown, what was next? Did you carry on doing the...
Yeah, I did, you know. Okay. So we was in lockdown for a year and a bit.
Yeah.
So I did it for 3 years.
Wow.
I only stopped April just gone.
Serious?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I was still doing it because a lot of people were like, do you know what? I don't want to go back to the gym. I don't enjoy the gym. I enjoy the community. I enjoy this. It works for me. It's convenient. Obviously, we had to make adjustments, so like change the times and stuff when people went back to work. But the good thing was because it was on lives and you can always save the workouts. People could do it in their own time.
So was it just the workouts that you was offering?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and then I just continued on, and then I got tired.
So was it just you doing the workout?
So it was just me originally, and then I got someone else to join me as well. So I do like 4 days a week and she do 1 day a week. And then it just became really taxing because I was like, I have to, and obviously, you know, when I was doing it, I still wanted to kind of do my own style of training. Yeah. So I'd be training twice a day sometimes and doing that 4 times a week.
Okay.
And do you know what I mean? And continuously for over 3 years, it got to April, like just gone, and I said,
I'm surprised you carried on that much.
No, so am I. I'm going to be honest with you. And because no matter what country I was in, I would wake up whatever time I needed to and deliver that workout.
Wow. I never took breaks. What's happened with that community now?
It's still there, and that's what I love. So we literally built a sisterhood.
Okay.
So we had like a really big, massive WhatsApp group, which still lives on to today. I think the great thing is now, because I've pivoted and I'm doing other stuff, the community, they're still showing up to everything that I do. So it's really funny because when I did my class last month, in the group chat, they were just like, guys, what time are we meeting? It's literally a community. They literally met up and we're going to all be in the front row. What are we wearing? Are we wearing our Train Slay t-shirts? Like, it's so cute. I actually love them.
Oh God, that's amazing.
They're so cute.
So like, let's shift on a little bit, because you started putting on events. Your first event was in collaboration with Gymshark.
Yes. So
how did that come about?
So I'd done a few odd jobs for them before on an ad hoc basis. So like my first ever job with them was I hosted a conversation about Black women in fitness for Black History Month. Then after that, with my community, this was kind of like during lockdown, I did the Gymshark 66 challenge with the Train to Slay girls, where we had to build habits and stuff over 66 days. Then after that, it was just, I think based on my work with them, they kind of gravitated towards me. And to be honest, I've always been a massive, massive fan of Gymshark. Yeah. So they were always one of the brands that when I first got into fitness, I dreamed of working with. So I wouldn't say I represented the brand, but they were a big part of like the stuff that I used to do anyway. So I used to wear their stuff anyway. So it was like a natural relationship.
So did you approach them saying that you wanted to do an event, or did they approach you?
No, so they approached my manager and was just like, we've got an idea to do something with Gina for Black History Month. Obviously, we didn't get to do anything big before because it was lockdown and stuff, but we've seen her community and we think it'd be great for us to like do something on a bigger scale. So in my head, I literally just thought it was going to be like, you know, just do a class and do you know what I mean? Nothing major. Yeah. But they had other plans. So it was, do you know what? It was really, really cute and really like, it was like the first time I just thought, oh, my hard work is finally paying off because the journey, I'm making it sound so straightforward as we're talking. I was like, but there's been so many hurdles and times where I've wanted to quit. Yeah. So it was really, really nice to know that the hard work hadn't been in vain, because I didn't anticipate that kind of relationship, if that makes sense. Because I didn't even have a massive following. Do you know what I mean? So when I looked at the people that they were working with, everyone had over 100k followers and whatnot. And I was like, I don't even have 50 right now. So, do you know what I mean? So I didn't anticipate them. I didn't see the value for them in doing a big event with me, if that made sense.
Sounds like a bit of like imposter syndrome type of thing.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Why do you feel?
Do you know what I think it is? I think with me, I think it's because what I want to achieve hasn't been done over here. So when I look at the really big heavy hitters in my industry that are Black women, they're not in this country. So it's like, no one's been able to do it. And it's because it's freaking hard. Do you get what I mean? So because I feel like I'm paving a way that doesn't exist, it is quite hard, and you question yourself a lot in the process as to whether it even makes sense. Are you even going to be accepted? Is there space or room for this? Do people even want this? Are you like, and yes, I love my community and it is about my community, but ultimately to be like a global fitness brand, you want to live outside of your community. Do you know what I mean? It has to be global, and that's everybody.
But I feel like everyone's got to have a starting point.
100%.
And 500 people showing up each month is a sign that you have something there that you can, you know, build on and expand. You mentioned like obstacles and stuff. What was one of your biggest obstacles that you faced, you know, in your career?
I think I'm going to say imposter syndrome, just because that has been beating my ass for for the longest time.
And do you still feel that now?
I do.
Really?
Yeah, it makes no sense, honestly, but I do. Like me doing beats and bands last month, my friends were so confused. Like everybody just literally didn't understand like what I was projecting. It didn't make any sense to them, but I was like, I just have to go through this process, please. Like this is just how I work and this is how I function. But
because mentioning beats and bands, what was that 1,000 people have come down for a workout?
And
that is a sign that you are a big deal.
And do you know what's so interesting about that though? Yeah, I still don't think I've taken it in properly, you know.
Yeah, because you're already talking about the next one.
Yeah, I am. Not because I don't. Look, do you know what it is though? In my head, I was going to do that event and I was going to chill until next year, October, and like a year was. I'll be like, okay, we're doing part 2, October, and after the event, the feedback was so insane. I was just like, yeah, I clearly can't wait till October. They were just like, are you insane? Yeah. No, like we need this regularly. And I think it's because the concept isn't common. It's not something that's done over here. And anything remotely similar doesn't exist on this side of the world. You only see mega classes in America. Yeah. So every time I've seen anything that looks similar to something like that, it's in America. Whereas we like to have fun too. Yeah.
So how was it managing an event of that size? Because I've done an event myself for 100 people and I know how stressful that was. So 1,000, how was that experience?
But I think one thing I've always known this anyways, I have such a strong network of friends and family. Like, my people show up for me. Yeah. Like, even the team, like, obviously I guess I'm the face, but the whole team behind the beats and bands, and they're all my friends. Oh, wow. And everyone has a role.
A role that you kind of delegated?
Yeah, but everyone, when you know everybody's strong points, because we're friends, right? So you know who's really good at what. So you've got someone who handles PR and marketing. You have somebody else who is literally, why is it going over my head?
Sales?
No, not even that.
Branding?
Okay, so you've got branding, logistics, operations.
Okay, yeah.
That was the word I was looking for. Okay. So, like, everybody literally has a role on the day and even leading up to it. And we have weekly team meetings on Zoom every single week. Wow. Just a couple, like, it's an actual...
You built up an ecosystem.
But I had to, because I know what I'm trying to make this become. And if the first one was to that scale, the only way is up. Yeah. So it has to continue to elevate. So we have to continue to stay on the ball and just see ways in which we can take it to the next level. Or
again, I'm going to say this again, it's going to annoy you. It's sounding entrepreneurial. Like, everything you're saying is sounding entrepreneurial. You're talking about scaling up, building your team, the value of everyone having specialist areas.
Do you know what I think it is? It's because I've learned, remember, I've been doing this for 10 years. So I think for me, in the 10 years, I've learned that I don't like working on my own, and I'm not good at everything. And there are people that are a lot better at certain things that I'm not, and it makes sense for them to lead on those things. It doesn't mean that I'm less good at what I do. It just means that that's not my forte, and let me focus on what I am good at, if that makes sense.
So what is the beats and bands concept?
So in its shortest form, it's basically mixing fitness with litness. That's the best way to put it. So I realized that a lot of people don't enjoy working out. Like there is a massive group of people who don't find it fun. They don't enjoy it, and it feels like a chore or it feels really hard. But then I also realized that our community love to have a good time. We love music. We like to dance, and we just like to vibe. We like brunches. We like brunches in the summer. Black people will be there flocking to a brunch, no matter the price, because it's what we like and what we enjoy. So I wanted to create something that merged the two together. And I love music. Music is a massive, massive part of my teaching style, my mood. Everything is intentional. So depending on the mood I'm feeling, the music has to be great. Like, I can't work out without good music. Even the gym that I go to, I don't go to a commercial gym just because the gym I go to, their music is so good, I don't need my headphones. Although I take my headphones, but it's just the atmosphere and the environment when you're there. So because that plays a massive role in how I kind of show up in fitness, and I know that there are a lot of people that are very similar to that. So I wanted to create something that just merged the two together and brought everybody together. And it was a risk because, again, it hadn't been done before. I had an idea in my head of what I wanted it to look like. And the concept I originally had didn't come to pass just because of timing reasons. And I'm not going to talk about it because I know that I'm still going to end up doing it later on. So I'm going to wait. But I'm even happy I didn't go down that route first, because that would have been too big. And I feel like after that, I would have struggled to top it, if that makes sense. So I just thought, you know what, let's just kind of see how this goes. But then my chest is high, so I could have done a small class, I could have done it on a small scale, but I was like, no, I want to do something really big on a massive scale to prove that we can do this, because it's a community thing for me at the end of the day. And I feel like a lot of things I do is for my community. So I wanted to dispel the misconception that black people don't like working out, or black people don't like spending money to work out, or all we care about is like things that are not good for us. And do you know what I mean? But I thought, no, I'm going to show you that we can spend money and invest in our health and fitness. We can have a good time. We do like to move our bodies. We can come together, be in the same space, and it be good vibes and good energy. Do you know what I mean? And so, I just thought, let me just try and do this thing and see how it goes.
And what were the biggest lessons that you learned from putting that event on?
That I need to believe in myself a lot more, just because I capped. like a lot of things were coming as a shock to me and not everybody else. So like the ticket that it sold out and everyone was just like, well, Joe. And I was just like, oh my gosh, no, what do you mean? And then like on the actual day, so the event started at 3 p.m. and people were queuing up from like 12 and I didn't understand why. And it just those things there. I remember my friends was like, have you seen the queue outside? I was like, there's no queue. They sent me a video. I said, you're lying. I said, there's not. I said, why is everyone queuing outside? I don't not why, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like,
unheard of for like a fitness event.
On a Sunday. And for me, I'm just like, guys, I'm not that special. Like, it's not that deep. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But people really support me, and it blows my mind every single time.
There's a reason for it. So like, you got to believe in your own source.
I know, and I think that's what it is. They're not cheering
for everyone. There's a reason why you have elevated yourself beyond everyone else. So yeah, I feel like you just got to believe in yourself, believe in your, absorb and, reflect on what you've done, even though you have bigger goals. Like, see what you've done. It's amazing. And this is from me, who's been like an onlooker. What has been like, I feel like this is going to be one of them, but like, if you could think of something else, what has been like your biggest high in your career?
I think working with Gymshark definitely is a high, because it's like a dream. Do you know what I mean? Like when you're new into the industry and I think everyone has like certain brands and stuff that they want to work with moving forward and stuff. And again, I feel like the reason why it's such a high for me is because I'm doing it in a capacity that one hasn't been done before, and it's so authentic to me. Yeah. And what I love is they literally allow me to be who I am. Do you know what I mean? So they're not a brand that pigeonhole you a lot or make you not that don't allow you to kind of express yourself, or like there's a lot of creative freedom. Yeah. And because I'm not a typical athlete, I think that's why I enjoy it so much more, because the realms of the stuff that I get to do, athletes aren't doing, and this isn't throwing shade. It's just it's like my role has been curated just for me. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So if it's so bespoke that I love every moment of it, because I literally get to do what I love. Yeah. And in a way that I want to do it. So I get to show up as myself. And it's definitely a high.
For someone like watching this who wants to be the next Gina, what advice would you give them?
Don't try to be the next Gina, because you should try to be the best version of yourself. Okay. Never try to be like anybody else. And I think that's what I've learned as well. Like, it's so easy to like get caught up in what everybody else is doing and what they put out online and feel like, oh, I want to be like that. But I think you have to create your own niche and navigate your own space. That's one. Yeah. Because it's a very, very, very saturated industry. Yeah. And I think you can agree. Yeah, like fitness 100%. Is so saturated and everybody kind of does the same thing. So
that's another reason why you should believe in yourself, because you've elevated above that in a saturated market. You
have to, because if you focus too much on what everybody else is doing, you're going to get stuck in their race. Mm-hmm. Whereas the best way to kind of get ahead is to carve out your own lane and just keep working at it.
Yeah. So what's next?
I'm going to say world domination, and you're going to be like, what does that look like? And I'm going to be like, I don't know.
Yeah, because you're floating.
I'm floating. You know what? There is nothing wrong with Listen, if you're watching this and you're a floater, it's okay. Yeah. Because I've been floating, I'm still floating right now. No, I'm not. But like, for me, it's just becoming a global brand. Like, I really want Beats and Bands to become a fitness festival on its own. I'm trying to make it the wireless of fitness. Nice. So something that lives on its own, that every summer you look forward to, because the lineup is crazy. I think what I love is the fact that it's not just a regular fitness class. It's practically like a fitness concert, so to speak, because you have the artists that come out and perform whilst we're working out. Yeah. So I believe that there's room for it to become a festival on its own for people that enjoy fitness or just enjoy moving their bodies to music.
And when's the next one?
January the 28th.
When's tickets out?
Today.
Oh.
They came out this morning.
Ow. I don't know if this video will be released then, so it might be sold out by the time this video comes out.
If this video God willing, if this video comes out and it's sold out, then
they have to get you on the next one.
Join the mailing list, and then that way you will know about the next one.
Indeed. Yeah. Well, thank you, Gina, for coming down and having this conversation. I feel like it's going to be truly inspirational for someone who kind of wants to get into the industry. And also, I want you to know that what you're doing is amazing. So believe in your own source. But yeah, no, thank you for coming down.